Dua, sekarang baru satu muncul di Moskow, tapi yang lama sekali itu Soeharto. Jadi Soeharto sudah mati, Soeharto kami yang kasih mati dia, supaya dengar, bukan anak-anak di Jakarta, supaya tahu. Orang Papua yang guling dia, kami guling dia tidak pakai senjata, guling dia pakai politik dengan hukum ya. Nah, terus dia menangis, ini barang betul. Kita sudah bicara temukan saya di sini, di dalam ini. Nah, jadi dan sekarang siapa lagi itu? Joko Widodo yang mau mulai lagi. Kemarin saya dengar langsung dari televisi. Apa itu? Itu televisi apa itu? Yang apa itu malam saya lihat. Siapa ini? Joko Widodo umumkan perang. Kau mau perang dengan Papua? Saya pakai jerat tepung kaki dengan leher ini. Dan saya gantung kau. Aris Wader yang gantung itu Joko Widodo kau. Saya dengar langsung di televisi. Dia umumkan mau kejar itu pejuang Papua merdeka di Papua. Karena Soeharto sudah kalah, tapi tidak bisa. SBY bilang Joko Widodo kau yang mesti kasih merdeka Papua. Padahal kemarin saya dengar Joko Widodo bilang dia suruh itu pejuang Papua bodoh. Saya bilang kau mau masuk di hutan, saya pasang jerat tangkap kau. Dan Joko Widodo, kau datang di sini, kau dengan saya. Kau mau lanjutkannya sekarang, Soeharto punya rezim. Presiden Joko Widodo, hormat Aris Wader. Panti, International Rights of the United Nations. That's how the trader, the trader knows in Moscow, Lukashenko, in Asia. And then, diktator Presiden Joko Widodo, kau datang di melawan Indonesia. Sumatera melawan Indonesia, semua mesti merdeka sendiri. Terus dia ini yang tolong kita orang. Damai Sumatera dengan Makassar. Oke, saya begitu, dan semua sejarahnya begitu. Tapi karena Amerika bantu itu, Indonesia waktu itu, jadi terpaksa tidak jadi seperti Papua juga. Semua ada di dalam sejarah, semua ada itu, ya. Di situ sejarah itu persis, ya. Hari ini kita kumpul karena dia ini berjasa buat Sumatera, dia ini berjasa buat Makassar, dia ini berjasa buat Papua. Mulai sejarahnya itu, ya. Oke.
Yaitu di sini kita sama-sama untuk memperingati dan mengenang Dag Hammarskjöld. Beliau ini adalah sekretaris jenderal PBB. Ini masih pemanasan. Ya. Hari ini cuaca
mau sih?
Angin kencang. Memang lebih baik harus pindah ini.
Kayaknya?
Kain harus pindah.
Nah, karena ditahan angin kayaknya.
Ya, terima kasih.
Kamu perlu taruh bawang merah di belakang ya?
Nah.
Ya, hari ini seperti saya katakan tadi 18 September, hari Jumat dengan cuaca yang sangat indah, diterangi oleh matahari, tidak begitu dingin, hujan juga tidak begitu panas. Hari ini sangat bersejarah bagi bangsa Aceh, bangsa Papua, dan bangsa Maluku. Di sini kita berjumpa untuk mengenang Dag Hammarskjöld. Beliau ini adalah Sekjen PBB yang berasal dari Swedia. Speech by a representative of Aceh Sumatra National Liberation Front, The Hague, 18 September 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, as the United Nations will mark its 75th anniversary next month, Aceh Sumatra National Liberation Front, ASNNF, would like to take this opportunity to pay a tribute to the late Dag Hammarskjöld, the second Secretary General of the UN, who died in a plane crash in 18 September 1961 in present Zambia 59 years ago. We, the people of Aceh, West Papua and South Maluku, gather here today before the magnificent building, the Peace Palace in The Hague, the Netherlands, to honor him for his strong dedications and unflinching support for colonized and oppressed people of the world. During his tenure as the UN Secretary General. No doubt, since its creation, the United Nations has done a lot of noble things in terms of promoting peace, security, human rights, etc. But that is not the end of the story. The UN still facing undoubting challenges now and in the future. Since its existence in 1945, the UN members has increased from the original members 51 to 193. Among these free nations, at least 18 former colonies have gained independence, and it is done in accordance with General Assembly Resolution 1654 of 27 November 1961. This resolution, also called the C-24, is mandated to look into the examine the implementation of the Declaration of Granting of Independence to colonial countries and peoples. And as a matter of fact, there are still many nations and peoples across the globe who have not yet been decolonized. These include the former Dutch East Indies or Indonesia, 17 non-self-government territories, and dozens of others in Africa, Asia, Europe, and etc. Thus, the process of decolonization is not yet complete. We are here today to bring to your attention that Indonesia is the only colonial country on this planet. I repeat, Indonesia is the only colonial country on this planet condemned by the international community and the UN itself to rule over an area of the size of Europe by killing hundreds of thousands of the indigenous peoples of Aceh, West Papua, and South Maluku. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are living the third international decade for the eradication of colonialism, 2011-2020, we efforts to implement the plan of action of the past decade as to achieve its promise of decolonization, not only with regard to remaining 17 non-government territories, but should also include, I repeat, should also include other occupied territories such as former Dutch colonies of Indonesia, which has not been decolonized properly. Thank you. Aceh!
Merdeka!
Papua,
Merdeka!
Maluku,
Merdeka!
Indonesia,
Penjajah!
Aceh,
Merdeka!
Papua, Maluku, Indonesia.
Penjajah!
Thank you.
I just came back from Amsterdam. This morning they invited me to give a pitch on their protest right at the financial district of the Netherlands, Amsterdam, Zuidas. It was an event of Extinction Rebellion, which is a global climate change movement. And they invited me to educate them about the indigenous perspective in the climate change struggle, which is colonialism, capitalism and racism in our respective countries. Besides that, the climate change movement is getting more aware about what is happening in West Papua and other parts of indigenous occupied countries such as the Moluccans and other parts of Indonesia, Amazon and so on. So that's a very positive thing. The Dutch politicians are also getting more informed about what is happening in occupied West Papua and the brutal human rights violations committed by Indonesian military. So we will continue to report to them about what is happening there, and that is very optimistic. Tomorrow I would be able to join the protest at the Indonesian embassy because of another positive event from our campaign, which is a roundtable meeting at the Dutch National Archive with the director of the National Archive and other prominent historians. Also with representatives of the Maluku historians, and me myself will join the roundtable discussions about why Dutch citizens are not aware of what is happening in Aceh, Maluku and West Papua, for example, as Dutch former colonies. Why do we have to educate Dutch students on universities about the continuous occupation of our homeland, of our country, the killing and human rights violations of our people? So that's a very, very positive momentum building up in the Netherlands. And you know, I can name other campaigns in the Netherlands, in Europe, and in the US from organizations who are willing to shine a light on West Papua, which is very positive. Because if West Papua will get the momentum towards right to self-determination, we will support our brothers and sisters in Maluku, in Aceh and other parts of Indonesia who are crying for the right to self-determination. For example, the Balinese people, or the Sumatranese people, or Borneo. These are all oppressed nations, but they have no courage yet to build the resistance. So if West Papua will have the full authority on the resources and control of the land, we will make sure that Maluku, that Aceh and other peoples in Indonesia will get the same attention they deserve. So it is from importance that we are united here in Europe, internationally, in Pacific, because that is exactly what Indonesia don't want. And what we are doing from our campaign is collaborating with Extinction Rebellion, with Fridays for Future, with Code Road, with the anti-racism movement, because all these elements are happening in West Papua. Colonialism, racism, capitalism, greed by corporations, and therefore it is very important for us collaborating with these movements, with struggles, and of course these three nations who are fighting rightfully for their independence. So this is really positive, and I wish all of you luck tomorrow, optimism, because the perspective is what we're going to create in the coming months. Thank you very much.